All right, there we go. We are recording. Everything is live. Hope everybody's doing all right. We are having a dark, cloudy day today, but this is perfect because we have so much to go over on the Bitcoin chart. A lot of things are in the midst of being of playing out right now, and it's just gonna be interesting. So stay tuned and type away in the comment section. Let me know what you think, how you like my efforts, sharing my vision about all the things that's gonna happen. Yeah, I'm just rambling. All right. So in the past, what have I been mentioning a few times already? That is that we were slightly setting up for bearish divergences on the longer time frames. And coming into the second one right here, I was actually already starting to call out for caution because we could still see some uptrends, but as long as we didn't break this series of lower highs on the RSI, while we were still building up higher highs on the price action, I think that my idea was that we were reaching a top and that we were actually in the midst of seeing the top being set for now. Now, does this mean that we are really going to turn into a full-on bearish momentum? I don't think so. I think it's just logical after such a nice run that at least we're going to see a little bit of a correction for to allow us to join in on a good price level and then start going up to the top again. So yeah, calling this a top is not a bad thing on the larger picture. But since a few days, I have been warning everybody that longing is still good, but you need to start taking profit because otherwise, you don't want to be caught in a long position while we are going to start making lower highs. Now, is this set in stone? Absolutely not. There are still possibilities that we might see just more higher highs being printed. It's perfectly possible, and don't forget that this is the land of cryptocurrencies. A lot of things are possible, and sometimes you really get surprised. So always hold on to your pants. I'm not going to say hold on to your shorts because this might be interpreted wrongfully. This is not my intention, but try to be very careful, especially when you're taking long positions right now. Number one, I would not consider taking a long here at the high end of the range. Maybe you can take a little bit of a long every time because there's going to be bounces, but this is like shorting an uptrend. I would never advise on that. And also, right now I would not advise going too crazy on the shorts. There's going to be levels to keep your eyes on, and then what we want is to see a reaction to come out of these ranges. Now, of course, I'm going to tell you why I think that this is the point where we actually start confirming the top, and how we are going to judge if the top is really confirmed. So number one, like I said, we had the series of lower highs being printed, and eventually this trend of higher highs is going to stop. We're going to have a lower high, start printing a lower low, but the series of lower highs should maintain on the RSI level, because right here we actually have the confirmation, the retest. If we you know, it's hard to take to choose the words correctly because I don't want to be misunderstood. It's very important. What we see is actually a retest of the same high, and if we start printing a lower low, we know that because the same high, or actually a little bit of a lower high, followed by this series of lower lows, could signal that this is the top. Now, let me show you an example on where we can see the same thing but on a downtrend, because you know, I'm not just talking out of my neck. I'm not full of doo-doo. Where could we see this? Well, let's look in the past for a nice series of downtrends. All right. Where can I find a good example? Yeah, I think this is a good one. Okay, so we have the lower lows here starting to print. Eventually we have the big drop. And what do we see on a local price action? We see that eventually this momentum on the RSI has turned around. We have printed a higher low on a lower low. Then the next one is a higher low, and here we have a second confirmation of a lower low, and then eventually we start trending along with the higher lows on the RSI. So this is kind of the same thing, but now on in the other direction that we are seeing on price action. Okay, so of course it's not set in stone just yet. You know, we might still see some bounces, some ranging, but eventually I think here we are more or less at the high on a shorter term frame. Now, of course, the question is, how low will we go? Are we going to do the limbo and go all the way to the ground? Basically, I don't think so. I think for now, all the ranges that we have set in mind, all the ranges on the lower end are very much valid. What we also want to see, what we also want to keep an eye on is this bottom trend line here, right here, to see whether it holds, you know, because we might get a very steep correction, printing a lower low here on the RSI compared to this one, and this would give us a bullish divergence where eventually price makes a good chance to start turning around already. Okay, so it's not because here I'm calling this a top that I mean this is the bull run is over and you know we're all going down to the drains. But right now these are the levels that I set, and I think these are still more or less valid to keep our eyes on. So what are we gonna do? First of all, let's take the Fibonacci retracement tool and let's have a look at this entire structure here, from here till here, and then we can see which levels do correspond. Usually on a big move, if we really trend down, we could see prices come down to the 0.6 or the 0.7 Fibonacci retracement. This lies right here in this area. Um, is this possible? Yeah, sure, but seeing these nodes here, all these nodes here, if we really see price come down this low, I would expect at least bounces along the way like this, and then eventually do this again. But this is a long way down. We could also make a Fibonacci retracement on a little bit more of a yeah, actually no, I would go with this one. Yeah, this area here, this was the last bottom that we got, so yeah, I would really consider this entire run one bull run. So let's just do it again to see what we come up with. Yeah, so yeah, bounces along the way, pretty obvious. The lines that we've drawn, let's just remove them for now, and then afterwards maybe we can remeasure yeah, afterwards we can remeasure the RSI levels and see what they tell us where we want to see the price actually bounce off of. What are the potential areas where we could start seeing at least a support or a strong reaction, where we get the stronger reactions, and what will be the point of no return. So clearly this one here, this is going to be the lowest low, sitting at 9,800. And let's just do a little measurement with the RSI. This is a 10-hour time frame, so pretty long time frame. And let's just see what kind of RSI levels would do it to start initiating a bullish divergence. Now, I read 16.5. So let's go over the Biggs calculator and let's see what that says. So for 16.5, price would need to drop below 11,751. 11,751. So that would be here. Okay, you know what, let's just redraw everything. This can sit here, and 11,751. All right, so this is number one coming from here. Okay, cool. Now we have this one, could also already do it. Not such a strong signal, but at least it would be something, sitting at 26.24. 26.24. This would be coming in at 13,988. 13,988. So this would be here. All right, so we're playing with large numbers here. And we're going to try to narrow it down just to make it less of a mess. And this one is coming from here. Okay, so you see these Fibonacci retracements are already lining up a little bit. Now let's go over to the 4-hour time frame, or maybe even let's go first to the daily. Let's look at the daily chart and let's see what this one tells us. So as you can see, this is a larger move, and this is the bottom that that we have from this structure here. Now, any one of these could actually also already give us a little bit of a bullish momentum, but let's go for the bottom and let's see what numbers we come up with. So 24.17, that's the lowest one. Yeah, let's do it. 24.17. So this one would be sitting at 10,880. 10,880. So right about here. All right, let's measure this one. More or less 36, 35.9. What does it say? 13,190. Okay, this one lines up with 0.5 Fibonacci. Yeah. All right. Now let's go over to the shorter time frames, because here the shorter time frames do print a little bit of a different story. Yeah, what might be happening if we really on a longer term we did get the top here and we're in for a longer correction, then each of these lows here could already give us a signal for a bounce to the upside. So let's have a look at this one. Yeah, I think this is the one I want to pick. On the 3-hour, it's 33.5. Okay, so this one would set us at 15,600 more or less. So that was this one. Okay. All right. Let's finish with the 1-hour chart. Because here we see something different. Here, this RSI level is the local low. So let's measure this one, 26.24. More or less same thing, 15,550. Okay, let's just go with 15,550. All right, Now let's remove the Fibonacci. Let's start making a plan. Yes, yes. All right. Let's start making a plan. All right, guys, how are we looking at this? Now, what we want to do is also still measure the top, measure the upper side, and let's do it just by entering the numbers. 16,450. No, we're going to do it with the RSI level. So 79 for the 1 hour chart. Could still be broken when we reach 16,485. Okay, let's go over to the 3 hour chart, because this one is going to be a little bit harder to break. 82.22. Yeah, setting us here at the top of this this blue box at almost 17,000. Let's go over to the 4 hour chart just to be thorough and complete. 79.8. More or less same thing. 16,900 more or less to be broken. So yeah, crucial thing to call this not a top is to see the price action break above the blue box. If we start printing lower lows, eventually here inside this we will have our bounce. Keep an eye on the RSI, because if we don't change the momentum on the RSI during this bounce, we will be seeing more lows. Breaking this one here will really initiate a move to the lower area, and I think this would be the bottom area for now. Of course, things need to be considered on a longer time frame. This is not going to happen overnight. What I would see happen here is at least some ranging, whether it is from here up to here, maybe even a little bit more, going down, or maybe even bouncing here in the box, doing this, doing this. There's going to be some shenanigans. It's not going to go the way I expected. It's not going to go in a straight line down. Okay, like now, don't panic just yet. The whole situation isn't over yet, but at the very least, I think we might be seeing a structure forming a little bit like this. Yeah. All right, so before we close the stream, I am going to have a look at the dollar strength index and see what the dollar is doing right now. because sometimes the dollar and the other markets are inverse correlated. If the dollar wants to go up, we will see other markets go down and vice versa. So since a few days, the dollar has been very difficult to read. There's no real divergences in play, like between these 2 points. It's just literally splitting hairs. We do have a lower low on the price action, but on RSI on the 4-hour chart, this is it's barely noticeable. You really have to read the digits for it to show. We do have a little bit of a higher low. So yeah, chances are dollar is going to try and recover a little bit from this nasty situation that we've seen in the past few months. Let's go over to the longer time frames, and on the longer time frame, same thing. It's literally splitting hairs. On the highs, there is no particular divergence to be spotted. On the lows, it's not even there. Here we really have just a continuation of the lower lows. So yeah, on the dollar, it's going to be really hard to predict what it wants to do. Let's have a look at E-mini futures. Maybe we can shed a little bit more light here. And yeah, on E-mini futures, same thing. We do have RSI on literally almost, yeah, just a little bit of a lower high, while on price action we do see a higher high being formed here. So yeah, possibly also here very locally we do have potentially a lower high being formed while we are already printing a higher high. So yeah, potentially, possibly, E-mini futures is also going to have a little bit of a correction, a little bit of a pullback in the coming days, weeks, maybe. Let's watch the S&P 500, and yeah, here it is actually clear as day. We do have a higher high already, while on the RSI, this is not even going to come close right now. We would really need to see price shoot up by a long shot before we can print a higher high on the RSI. So yeah, it looks toppy. It looks topped out as well. So yeah, this is it. There you go. I hope this was not too long. I'm trying to keep my streams a little bit shorter. I hope this was informative. Like I said, if you like the channel, if you like what I do, please think about subscribing. I'm broadcasting live every day at about 12:30 UTC every day. I hope you guys will join me on the chat so we can make this a conversation. Also, if you watch the replay on YouTube, thank you very much. But remember to subscribe and like the videos, leave your comments. I will reply to all of them. Well, this is it. Thank you guys. Thank you for watching. See you guys tomorrow, 12:30 UTC. Same time, same channel. Be there. Be square. Bye, guys.